What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dra'Quel. Welcome back to my channel, Dra'Quel Legacy. And today's video is going to be about the story times and memories that I have from what I can remember from growing up in my household as a kid. The household I told y'all about yesterday in the last video, that I gave y'all a little insight about. But today I'm going to go in more detail about, how it was for me, how I felt, what I ate, what I lived through, what I seen, what I dealt with, what I even heard and went through each and every day growing up in the outskirts and where I'm from in that household. So make sure y'all hit the like, share, comment, and subscribe. And thank y'all. And also, I want to thank y'all while I got y'all here for a sec. Thank y'all for the love y'all been showing me. Just yesterday in my last video, I said I had 6 subscribers. But today, man, I'm at 11. So I appreciate the love y'all been showing me. It's been real genuine. And I appreciate the love. You feel me? I appreciate y'all energy. I appreciate y'all time. Or y'all even caring to subscribe to my channel. And it means a lot to me. Like, seriously, I know 11 to y'all is probably like, it's 11. But to me, that means the world. It feels like I made it. And I feel like I'm getting my whole message and point across. So I thank y'all so much for, being in tune with my videos, and I pray that y'all just continue to grow with me, as I know y'all will, but I hope that y'all continue to stay and come back to each and every video. But thank y'all for y'all time. Thank y'all for staying tuned, but let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to be going over the things, how it was for me growing up in there when I was a kid. The feelings I had, it was a lot of stress, and the stress came from just my environment and just worrying is like if we ever was gonna get out, and just be able to maintain and get through everything, because it was a struggle. Every day was a struggle. It wasn't always, cool. Most time it was a struggle. Most time it was, trying to find happiness, and that stress came from for how I was feeling due to the way of living, just not even more so my area, more so just how my granny was feeling or how my mom was working so hard to maintain for us and she wasn't even always there. Or just not having my mom always there or, you know, worrying about my grandma stressing, not wanting nothing to happen to her, because she was stressing a lot growing up. And a lot of depression. The depression came from like the feeling of just feeling low, like real low. And I went through depression for a long time, but most of it started there. Depression came from just losses and losing friends and losing loved ones and losing time that I couldn't give back with certain people. And the depression also came from just being sad, like dealing with school and dealing with you getting anger taken out on you as a kid and you not understanding why, or you don't know what to do about it. You thinking everything's your fault. So what more can you do besides beat yourself up? I know it sounds sad, but it's the truth. Like it's just the truth. It's not always like I say. The hood can be beautiful and the people can be beautiful, but you also got to deal with your household. Your house. And what it's like living in your home. So a lot of depression came from just the treatment I may have been getting from my mom, or not the attention I was getting from my mom, or the only attention I would get from her would be more so about like school, and I wasn't doing good in school. I was lashing out, I was acting out, due to the fact that my dad was incarcerated, or not being able to go outside, or not being able to also have food sometimes, and it just was a lot. It was hard coming up there, and the depression and stress came from just lack of attention, lack of care, lack of understanding, a lack of just somebody holding me and just trying to talk to me and see how I felt. Not more so the friends, because we all was kids, but more so my mom and my granny, and just trying to be there for me, like almost like a parent would and should be. But I don't blame them for nothing. I don't question them for nothing. And that's just more to tell in the future about them. But yeah, the depression came from those type of things, and the anger came from me not having my dad, me not having a father role. Me might probably go over here to this friend house and they got their dad, and it's good seeing them with their dad and stuff like that. But it's like I gotta go home to not a father role, and because he was incarcerated or he was in the streets or he wasn't there or he was wherever he was at. And that anger came from not having a father or having to be basically my own father, being my own man, which was okay because it molded me to what I am today, and it showed me those people's true colors. But it molded me to what I am today. And then the anger came from also from school once again. Like school, I didn't want to go to school. Like I went to school just for my granny to make her smile or make my mom proud and show me that attention that I once was fiending for. So I would be mad a lot even if I would go and I might do good and still not get attention, or it just be I'm getting blamed for everything, due to the fact that what my family was going through, due to my dad not being there, or due to the bills, or due to, us eating certain stuff. We always ate I always ate ketchup on bread, or I always ate little stuff like uh like McDonald's. It's typical, but McDonald's every day, or ketchup on bread on every day, or just other things as far as I would do at nighttime or sometimes during the day, but most of the time nighttime. I would eat popcorn with my granny, and those were the times that I loved most because I not only would be able to just spend time with my granny and just be able to just have that care, want that have that attention that I wanted from my mom, and that my granny could give so much of, and she was always caring for me when I was a kid mostly, and still to this day at times. But I'll get into that, like I said, in the future. That's different topics and different stories for those certain people in the future on every video here to come. But like I was saying, back to me eating popcorn, my green, those was like bonding times. Those was like almost like a mom. Like I didn't always have my mom around. My mom always kind of worked or was doing whatever she, had to do to make ends meet, or just, trying to live her life because she is young. She did have me when she was 15. She got pregnant at 14 and had me at 15. So, she was just trying to explore life too. She was still a kid as well as I was a kid. So I don't blame her for none of that, and that's for the future videos. But a lot of times I just wanted attention. I wanted people to understand me as a kid, where I was coming from, or just ask me how I felt. Even if it didn't, even if they probably thought that it would be like obvious how I felt due to the things that was going on. I might be lashing out in school, or I might be getting suspended for weeks and weeks and weeks for fighting in school, or not doing everything right due to the fact of not having a father, or wanting attention, or feeling alone, or being sad, or being mad. So, that's why I did those things I did. Just to get attention, just to get care, just to get love. At the end of the day, just to get love. So, yeah, and a lot of things that I heard at night would be like, you would hear ambulances every night. That was like my bedtime story. Literally, I always told myself that as a kid, like that would be my bedtime story. Like I literally get home from being outside with friends, or walking around with Gabriel when he was out, and my whole time living there, every single day, I always would be like, well, let's see if an ambulance goes by tonight. And little do you know, I was always wrong. And then it got to the point where I get immune to it, to be like, okay, well, an ambulance gonna go past tonight. Ambulance will go past every single night. Every night. Every night you will hear ambulance the same times. Sometimes late, sometimes early, like an hour earlier than usual. But most times it would be every night. And also I heard gunshots. I would always hear gunshots every single day. But that's in the hood. That's typical. That's mandatory almost, to that type of environment. So you will also hear a lot of gunshots every single night. Sometimes you might hear a bullet hit a tree outside, like, because I had my window was in the front, my window, but my room was in the front. Like, if you come on my porch, my room was the first room. So, of course, I heard everything. And I had like a big window, two big windows. One was plexiglass, that was from the porch, and then coming to my room. Then my room, I had like a window I would always open, and it just had a screen. It didn't have a glass. It would have like a notch. I'd turn it, pull it open, and then it'll be like a screen door, just a window. And I will always be able to hear the neighbors, or hear people fighting, or hear people shooting, or seeing things like people shooting at somebody, or people be like, oh, that's the youngster right there, because they'd just eventually catch me. I'd be like a kid, like curious, so then I just later on, be just observing my surroundings. And it would be a lot of gunshots. You always would hear like the neighbors at the time. They would always get into it, because they would do things that they would do to survive. So like you might hear somebody getting hemmed up, somebody getting beat up, somebody getting beat with a bottle, somebody getting cut, somebody getting stabbed, somebody getting his head fucking stomped in. You might hear everything that you can think of, due to that person not, you know, helping that other person out like they said they were. And if y'all get it, y'all get it. I don't gotta go too much into detail. And just yeah, like it was hard growing up. Things I would always smell or also see in my household would be things as far as like you got mold, you got dirty tap water sometimes. Before COVID, this was years ago. So sometimes you got to drink that tap water, every day. 'Cause sometimes you can't make it to the well to get some clean water. And me and my granny and my landlord at the time, we would always go like every other week, to go to the well and get some fresh water, because our house was so old that, the water system was just, it was corrupted with just filth and dirt. So it's like sometimes we had to drink it. Most times we had to drink it. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes we would drink well water, but most times we would drink a tap dirty water. And the well water was, it was like a Christmas present to us, because it's like it's a hot summer day and the water ain't cold. It was tap water back then, not like it is now, but the water wouldn't be cold. The water would never be cold. So we would be drinking hot, warm water in the hot house with no air. So it would be hard at times, but you get immune to it, you get used to it, you get adaptive to it, and you just, you go to learn and love it just for what it is and just accept it, because it could be worse, like I always say. Back to what I was saying, things that I would always see in the household would be roaches. It'd be times where I kill a roach with my granny, or my granny would kill a roach for me. It's like we helping each other out, kill off the village of roaches that'd be always in our house. It'd be water bugs, everything you could think of. Just due to the fact of the house being old, and due to the fact of it's the hood, like that's what you're gonna see. It's what you're gonna see. It's not like we was dirty. It's just the house itself was dirty. So don't get it twisted like that. Like we was just nasty. Nah, we wasn't out here nasty. It just, the house was old. It was very old. Like I said, it was like 60 to 70 years old. It was real, real, real old. Like I said, my great grandma, that was her house before I was even born. That's my granny's mom. And yeah, so it was a lot of dead bugs you would see. A lot of bats will come in. I got a video about bats in the future. Later on down the road, I'll eventually get into that, when I go live with y'all, or y'all ask me questions about what the bat was for, like how did a bat get in your house. That I'll save that type of stuff. Like if y'all like it, give me like the 3 likes. I'll give y'all like a little quick Q&A or whatever y'all like to see. I'll tell y'all about the bats. But yeah, I would see mildew, the debris falling from the roof. You would see a lot of like mold. You would see a lot of like just water flood in the basement back then. And it'd be times where we would be we'll wash clothes, me and my granny, or sometimes I'd be able to go in her room and I'd be able to peek. We had like a box, like a hole, but it was like a square, like a box, and you can peek down with one eye, and you'll be able to just see my granny just crying. A lot of times I see her crying, because we got money problems. We ain't always have rent, and rent was cheap back then. But for a person who don't got no grandpa, like I don't have a grandpa, she ain't got a job, and it's hard to maintain. She wouldn't always be able to pay bills. So anyway, I'd be able to peek down there and just see her always crying, or most times I see her like walking through the water, and be able to, like, I always be able to see over where it would be a sink, and next to it was a washer and dryer set. In times she would always I would always watch her wash clothes with dishwashing liquid. You know, like the soap you put on like bowls and plates and stuff like that, like dirty dishes. She would use that, the soap, to wash clothes and hang it on the string, because sometimes we didn't have a washer. Sometimes it might rain so hard the water might, you know, tear up a part that's, you know, connected underground, of course, to the machine. So sometimes it would overflood, or sometimes it would flood so bad in the basement that, you know, you wouldn't be able to even, the washer wouldn't even work, because it's already got water and stuff from the ground and, you know, from the ceiling and stuff, that it would just overfill the washer and dryer. So it'd be a lot of times she would be having to stand in the water, or I'd be, sometimes if I help her, you know, she didn't always like my help, but I always tried my best to help any way possible and be that man that she needed. Not that she wanted, but that man she needed, and 10 to 1 in her life as a kid. And yeah, she would wash it. We would sometimes together wash it with the soap, you know, shake it off, you know, then rinse it off, you know, with the same water we filled up the sink with, and then rinse it off. And the sink would be dirty. It would be clean, but it's an old house, like I say, and it would always be dirty. Like, she'd try her best to clean it, you know. I try to help her sometimes, but I'm a kid. I ain't really know what I was doing as best as a granny should, or a granny can or will. And the sink would be dirty, so it's like we would basically be washing our clothes in a dirty sink. Our clothes would be dirty. We'd be washing our clothes in a dirty sink, rinsing it off in a dirty sink with dishwashing liquid. But you had to do what you had to do to survive, like I always say. So yeah, we would shake it off, put it on a little zip line, a little string. If y'all ain't familiar with that, if where y'all from, you know, you might typically see it back in older videos or of people on movies or something like that. It's like a line, and it's like a backyard, but we didn't put it in the backyard because people would sometimes steal the stuff. So we would just put it in the basement, like, you know, it's like an area we had around, like you'll walk around, and then it's like it was like a long string. I swear it was strings, and she'll put the clothes on there. Like, it might be my clothes. It always would be like this. Yep, I remember. It's crazy. I remember this stuff. But it would be my stuff on top. My uncle, which is her son, his would be up there with mine. Like, we had basically the boys on one line, and then my granny and my mom would be on the second line. And then when my sister was born, and when she had to adapt to that type of stuff, hers would be on the third line. And then whatever else we can try to fit on that bottom line, because you got to remember, it's flooding, or it's dirt, or it's trifling, so you don't want the clothes that you just washed to touch the floor. So sometimes you have to mix the clothes, you know, do what you got to do to survive. But yeah, it was real bad. It was real bad, you know. And sometimes you could wash up, you know, you can take the best shower. That's one thing. The showers, for some reason, they'd always be hot. I say for about 20 minutes, they'd be hot. And you can wash up, and I washed up with my granny as a kid. You know, you might take it how you want to, but it's not nothing like that. But just like I said, like I'm a kid, it's basically I'm following the footsteps of my granny. You know, like she's like my mom. I call her my mom, and I'm washing up with her, or even by myself washing up, or she washed up by herself, or even my mom or my sister washed up by themselves. And every time you get out and you go to the living room floor, no matter where because the living room floor had carpet, and everything else was wood, not like your plywood or your typical, you know, granite wood. You know, the stuff y'all have today, it wasn't like that back then. It was like wood, like that would stick up with splinters. So you always would have to walk through basically wood, and you always, 95% of the time, you would get splinters in your feet. 95% of the time, you would get splinters in your feet. And from the bathroom all the way, when you turn right to my granny's room and then my mama's room, that whole back, it was 2 rooms. Them whole 2 rooms had nothing but wood, and then like the splinter wood I'm telling y'all about. And then the living room, when she would come back from out their room and turn right, you got more. That whole area would be like the dining room, you can say. it will be wood. And then of course you go to the living room, there's nothing but carpet. So back what I was saying, so you will go out there, you will walk, you can walk out, you can walk on the wood, you're gonna get a splinter. But you walk on that carpet every time, no matter how many times we vacuum, no matter how many times we got a deep cleaner, no matter how many times, your feet will always get dirty. And my room that was in the front with the living room connected to it, my room had the carpet, and the living room had the carpet. And your feet will always be black. They can vouch, I can vouch. Anybody that ever been there that took their socks off can vouch. It was bad. And like I said, it's not from us being nasty or nothing like that. It's just we so happen to have a rinky-dink house. Like, I shit you not, we had like the oldest house on the block. The oldest house on the block. Because people before the 60s and 70s and stuff like that, that house was still there. And we had to do what we had to do. It's either be in that or be in a car, which I'll get into those type of stories in the future. But yeah, it was a lot coming up. Like I said, when I was sleeping with my granny, it'd be a lot of times like they'd be shooting, and we'll have to jump down. I remember one time we had to jump down, and she was like, "Kel," she pulled me down to the floor, and we curled up. And at first, I'm like, "What's going on?" And then over time, as it kept happening, it became a repeating cycle. And the time I remember she pulled me down, and it became like a drill, like a fire drill, like in school. So we would instantly like curl up. She'll be over here and I'll be over here, and then she'll hold my hand. And then yeah, it was like that. Like we would jump to the ground, huddle up, and then they'd be shooting for like 10 minutes straight. And then yeah. But times when I was bad, it was a lot of times I was bad growing up. Things I would do was like, walk up, hit my uncle, which is her son. I get into him in the future, but I walk up to him and hit him, or spray him with water guns, or, throw piss at my granny and him. Just a lot of bad stuff. Like I do a lot of bad, destroy stuff, tear up stuff, bad stuff, the most worst stuff you could think of, running, jump over stuff, kick TVs, kick books over, bad shit, lashing out just to have fun. But also, just to get my spare time away, what I would do was listen to music. I would sing, I would rap, freestyle a lot, listen to a lot of like my granny's church music at times, or like women she would play, or even stuff I known and what I grown up listening to, and I would play. And I would a lot of times sing by myself, and music was my outlet. Music was my outlet. I would sing, I would rap, I would freestyle, I would write songs, write letters, and then freestyle them to my granny, write poems and stuff like that. But that's for future in the video. But I want to thank y'all for y'all time. As I say, as y'all grow, I grow, and as I grow, y'all grow. Thank y'all for giving me y'all time and everything that y'all have. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe. Once again, this is Dra'Quel. This is Dra'Quel Legacy, my channel. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get these followers and subscribers up, these views up. More videos coming every day. Next video coming tomorrow, so stay tuned. Love.